Hey guys, it's Matt. I'm not sure how I'm going to title this video. Something like, have we learned nothing in the truth community in the last 8 to 10 years? Falling for the same tricks, examining the same steaming yellow breadcrumbs, putting it in our mouth. We've learned nothing. Look, many of us have, but it is incredible how it's the same old running with rumors and hearsay, and the pushing of fear regarding this HR 666. Look, I don't like it. There's a bill proposing these sorts of things, but there's a method behind the madness. There's a way they do business that we should recognize. Before we get into that, let me just, something that's funny as hell. Somebody sent this to me. I'm sorry, I forgot who did. I don't know what state it was, what Canadian province it was, but there was a article that came out that said ride sharing will be allowed now. You can actually sit in a car with someone that's not in your family, but you both must be wearing a mask. What were the other elements? You must not look at you must not look at each other. You must not look at each other. There's going to be a drone flying outside your window monitoring the keep head straight ahead, please. It'd be like beaming the speaker voice beaming into your car. Head straight ahead at 12 o'clock. You can't look at each other. You must be wearing a mask, and the windows must be open. Was the third element in this story. Well, what happens if this thing just lingers and you're driving in like the Yukon territory of Canada and the windows open? It's negative 25 degrees outside, and the drone put the windows, roll the windows down. There'll be a drone flying outside your car. Guys, look, all of this absurdity that's coming along with this thing, it's all by design. Remember who you're dealing with here, okay? There's two problems the truth community has. They don't realize who they themselves are. You know, these assholes we have to deal with, the minion level reporting to the higher level reality, they know who we are. Okay, they give us a lot more stock in maybe segments of humanity. They know who we are and the power we have, the power to reflect back reality, create reality through their blurry reflections on the outside of this screen. We don't know who we are, and we underestimate them many times, not in terms of all the evil things they're going to do at the ground level, but underestimate them in terms of the evil genius way they play and use and abuse all of us. This community can never see around more than one corner at a time. And I'm generalizing, but I look at YouTube and it's the same old fear stuff, the same old running with HR 666. I don't like what this bill's proposing. But guys, nobody's going to come into your house and nobody's going to come into your the cough police is going to show up. Is somebody inside coughing? Break the door down. Like those just any NYPD Blue or any of those TV shows where they just come with the battering ram and break the door down. And then they're like, who's coughing? We're going to take them out and quarantine them. We're going to it's a 2-year-old. We're taking them away from the family. Guys, am I giving these sick bastards any credit? Are they capable of stuff like that? Would they probably want to do that? Yeah, probably. It's not going to happen. Don't you understand a basic tactic? Don't we understand the basic tactics of what they do now? They will put out the worst possible thing. Okay, everybody's going to be. I'm just let's just role play. In order to combat this COVID thing, everybody is going to be put into Japanese-style internment camps, what was done to Japanese U.S. citizens during the beginning part of World War II. And everybody's going to go into FEMA camps, and if these camps are not available, every local target is going to be emptied out, and that will be your camp. We will isolate everybody for years until they've proven that they don't have it or the vaccine is available. Everybody's going to be taken from their homes. Okay. Oh, so there's a bill. They put a bill out, let's just say, that says that. So the bill contains all this other stuff. So when we petition our politicians or call, Rand Paul's office, please, can you save us and remind all the senators and congressmen that there's still a degree of freedom and you're supposed to honor the Constitution? And so then all this stuff will go, they'll put us in fear. They'll back off these really nasty elements. And then they'll implement all of this. And then the people will be so thrilled, and the truth community will be so thrilled that these elements aren't going to go through. Oh, they're not going to be able to come into your home and take your 2-year-old out that has a little cough and isolate your 2-year-old for 4 years in quarantine. Oh, that part of the bill we've gotten rid of that through petitioning Rand Paul. But we're so thrilled, and oh my gosh, what a win. Oh, what a great job, you protesters and marchers. But then they've implemented all of this. It's second grade bargaining. I go into a market or a bazaar in Turkey. Play the music in your mind that would be playing in the bazaar or market. Oh, there's a nice rug I want to buy. How much? I start my bidding at 10 American cents. 10 cents? It's $50. Well, I'll start low and then we'll negotiate. See, they'll put a bill out with all these ridiculous elements they don't think they're going to ever be able to get. Maybe, actually, the Whopper computer is now recommending they put more ridiculous shit in the bills because the Whopper computer is saying these mother effers are acting so much like drones and automatons we can pretty much get away with anything. But I don't think we're quite there yet. Even my friends that I call complete automatons who are, every time I email them, they defend the system and they try to make excuses why Hong Kong has 4 deaths and they make excuses why New York City has 250 times the death rate of other major cities, including Asian cities, where like 10,000 people a day flew back and forth between Wuhan and Hong Kong and Wuhan and Singapore. Even these people, okay? One of the main, and we say these people will never wake up, but there's still a little bit of hope because the DEFCON 1 hasn't been imposed on them yet. All right, and the DEFCON 1 is that they haven't experienced any economic catastrophe up to this point, not even close. My friends that work in their office parks, in their cubicles, they all are getting paid from the corporation. There's no economic pain felt. When they go out, they haven't experienced the woman down the end of the road that has a little coffee shop that they visit is now closed, and the dog groomer across the street is now closed. They haven't experienced even that. So of course they're parroting back everything that the system bullet points. Every time I send an email about 4 deaths in Hong Kong, I just get a system bullet point email back. So they have, but the other aspect would be if they push this HR666 and oh, they're going to come into your home and the cough police, oh, you have a 2-year-old in there that's coughing, we're going to remove the 2-year-old from the house, and all that weird stuff that's in 666. That I don't think they even want to. I'm sure they would love to get that, but they don't expect to get that. They don't expect to get that. But if that happened to the automaton friends around us, then I think that they wouldn't be like, okay, take my 2-year-old. I think even them, they would then get their back up, okay? Especially protect the little ones or whatever. There's some point that even though we call people the approaching of the NPC or the approaching of the organic portal or the NPC or the automatons, that there's still a point where there's a little bit of a life in them, a connection to spiritual self. They're going to react a certain way. They haven't felt the pain yet, all right? And I'm the one who's been saying for years that these people are gone. And I don't like to put it that way. I don't want to curse them or damn them, like I've said. But guys, it's basic negotiation tactics. They're going to put in a bill and make it seem like all these testers, and they're going to hire 300, 400,000 people, and they can take your family out of your home and forced quarantine, and they're going to have all that. So then you're going to petition Rand Paul, and then those parts will be removed, and all the truth, especially the truthers, will be like, "What a win! Yeah, we won! We petitioned Rand Paul," and then but then the rest of the bill will go through. Then they never expected this piece. Hello? Oh my God. How stupid are we? Look, guys. Okay, but again, do I know that that's 100% going to play out? Am I not a little bit on edge because they've bitten off so much more than I thought possible? I'll be the first one to say I absolutely underestimated what they'd be able to pull off, of course. So, but if that ever comes to, if that ever, reality's breaking down anyway, but if that ever comes where they're actually forcefully entering people's homes to remove people and nobody's pushing back, even my automatic friends aren't saying I'm going to buy a gun. If they come for my kids, I'm going to load it. If we get to that, then the whole we're almost there anyway, but reality's over, life's over. Either lock and load or go find a way to get yourself to a remote part of Laos and just live out like I would. Or one of two things: either it'll be a Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid moment if they go to that level, which I don't think they're going to go to that level. These are tactics. These are pissed on breadcrumbs. Or I'll find my way. I'll charter a Chinese junk to get to a remote part of Laos and live out the rest of my life on a beach somewhere, just fishing. If there ever is a red tide and I won't be able to fish, I'll die of starvation. If it ever gets to that where they're coming into people's homes, life is over. They don't expect to get to that. Are they imposing things during this that I couldn't possibly imagine? This talk of this satanic sick talk of the new normal and all this stuff where they're going to put these measures in place for years and years, and they're going to recycle these pandemics around over, or as long as they can get away with it, they will. Every measure in the world, it'll be like 9/11 not taking your shoes off at the airport times a million for the next how many years. Stadiums will have. I haven't heard any of this. I'm just saying things like this. Stadiums will eventually, yeah, the NFL will return at some point. Maybe not this year, and that is a big factor. If the NFL doesn't return this year, that's a big factor. I mean, that's big, but that there could be a positive that comes out of that if they go too far as well. But things like when the NFL returns, removing every other seat, or having to buy two seats on an airline, and nobody will be able to get close to each other. These measures, these sick, dehumanizing measures that they are going to impose for as long as they can get away with it. And again, it was as gone as we've talked about people being. One reason why they're able to roll out so many of these measures is because 90% of the people, or 85% of the people, probably at this point 80%, 20% are feeling major pain. Probably 80% of the people right now have not felt this really, really horrific pain. That could come economically. It could come if they try to take your kid out of your house and quarantine they have not felt the pain. 80% is a large group. Okay, 80% of Americans have not felt serious pain because of this. 20% have been decimated, no doubt. But who's going to rule? Is that going to shut all of these crazy measures down if 80% are just feeling minor pain and having to stay at home? And my automatonic friends that email me the system bullet points as to trying to explain away how Hong Kong could have 4 deaths, which is impossible. If this thing is what they say it is, impossible. If it is what they say, and pathogens and illness spread just like we've always been told our entire life. And I don't need a lecture about what a virus is or what a virus is not. We shouldn't just jump on board that. We should be skeptical of that and research that as well. I mean, there's too much of the truth community doing that. Our whole lives. See, I'm going to wait and decide for myself. Okay? Our whole lives we've been told what a virus and a pathogen is. And we've observed this in our lives. We've seen colds and things called viruses spread around families and spread around classrooms and high schools, and chickenpox outbreaks if you're over age 45. And we've seen these things. Is it really that ridiculous to say pathogens can't spread? Okay, so there's all of a sudden these YouTube videos pop up, and a virus can't do anything to you. It's nothing. It's all a hoax or whatever. Oh, let's just jump right on board. Hey, I hope it's right. I hope they're right. I know we've been lied to about everything. Who are you talking to here? I know we've been lied to about everything. But I'm not going to just jump on board that because some YouTubers pop up. For what? Who are these people? Be skeptical, but wear your skeptical hat with almost every truth channel you watch. So, maybe a virus isn't what they say. But I've observed things spread around my high school. So we all have families. We've lived life. YouTube videos pop up. Oh, you can't get sick. Nothing spreads. Or bow down to that just after a few videos. What about a herpes sore on your lip? You kiss some girl. No doubt about it. It's oozing with pus. It's supposed to be a virus. You pass it. What about herpes 1, genital herpes? That can't spread. That's just a hoax. What? What about genital warts? Millions and millions of people spread papilloma. It's supposed to be a virus. We know it spreads. Well, what are those people that viruses don't exist? It's just exosomes in your body. What do they say to that? I'm not trying to take the system position, but I'm saying don't just bow down to a brand new idea that goes against everything you've learned and observed in your life because some YouTubers pop up. Who are these YouTubers? These people, I've been here for 8 to 10 years. We got Dr. this and Dr. that, and Dr. people popping up. Oh, we're just going to bow down to them in the truth community. Who are these people? How do you know what their agendas are? Seriously. Seriously. You got a skeptic hat on? Put it on super tight when you watch this shit. Put it on when you watch me. Why shouldn't you? I have a track record. I haven't point to one video where I've led the truth community astray over 8 years. Go find one. All right. Am I right all the time? No. But I have a track record of not being out to screw people, of trying to be on the right side of things. In this situation, we have all these truth communities pop up. Even people you really like now watch. Say to yourself, how long they've been around? Where'd they come from? I'm serious. So I'm not, is it possible because we've been lied to about everything that just exosomes? Of course, but I'm not going to bow down to that. I'm gonna say, okay, I'll take that and I'll hold on to it and I'll research it and I'll see if it's in line with what I know about reality. But then I know all these people over here that have I know 2 people that have cold sores. You can't kiss them when they have a cold sore. It spreads. I know someone that has herpes, whatever. They'll talk about how it spreads. Genital warts. These are viral things that, unlike a virus that they say is in a flu where you cough and somebody just gets sick over here, these are things that they call viruses that we know spread. Okay, I'm not taking the system position. This is just basic observed reality. We've lived life. So until these people come and explain all that away, I'm not going to bow down. Okay, you understand where I'm going with this. Just ranting, going on and on. But guys, be skeptical of all these truth channels. I don't take my skeptic hat off for. I guess there's 3 or 4 channels. I take it. Greg, when he makes a video exploring the rabbit hole. Levette, I don't wear a skeptic hat. I don't understand half of what she tells me about astrology, and I wish she'd bring it down a little bit and explain, like, have second-grade presentations. But I don't have a skeptic hat on. I don't always agree, but I'm just saying, not that these people couldn't be wrong. They're not trying to manipulate me. With almost every truth channel I watch skeptically. Not that they're working directly for the man. Some are, no doubt about it. Some are working directly for the man. They're going up to the window and waiting for it to open. What time's the Illuminati window open this morning? 9? You're early. It's 10 this morning. Ah, shit. Anybody in there? Oh, I got my orders. Okay. The most are trying to do the right thing. Most are trying to. Some work for the man. Most are trying to do the right thing, but they just are being promoted by the system, and videos recommended by the system because they're doing exactly what the system wants: fear, running with rumor, hearsay, making the truth community look like the boy that cried wolf, which we're already there. I mean, we've cried wolf to the people around us. What? 1,000 times now we've cried wolf, or we've yelled fire in a crowded movie house 1,000 times when there hasn't even been a burnt popcorn. All the people around us, of course, we're already there. So, but they'll continue to belittle. They will continue to belittle and to constantly make us irrelevant to the people around us. And because we're already in that situation and they continue to work on us, it proves how powerful we are, in my opinion. It really does. So, for example, how many truthers have emailed friends and family about HR66666 and presenting it in a way that, not in a professional way, that hiring 300 to 400,000 testers and trackers, where they're going to, if you've been exposed, they're going to track you in a Big Brother type monitoring system. Instead of presenting in a professional way, how many truthers have just emailed their friends and family and said they're going to yank your kid out of your house? I don't care what is in the bill, what language is in the bill. We've constantly used and played. They're not going to, if you point to You're not going to be able to point to anything in that bill. I haven't read it that says they can just whip your kid out of your house. It won't be worded that way. It can be interpreted that way, I'm sure. But even if you pointed that out to your best friend, they're not going to believe that ever is ever possible. And even the people putting forth the bill don't think they're going to get that. One of the reasons they put that out and title it 66666 to get your attention. Then you email your family and friends and say, they're going to whip your kid out of your house if there's a little bit of a cough. If the testers come up and they're, oh, somebody coughing in there? Oh, somebody's coughing in there. Get the battering ram. It's like that scene in Braveheart. They set the front of it's on fire. It's a gigantic piece of oak. Who's coughing in there? Get him out. Then we email our family and friends, and they go, this truther, these truthers. The same guy that's been telling about 9/11, now they're going to come take my kids. They don't believe it. We're then belittled even more. And they've already put us in a situation where they shouldn't have to do that. We're already there. So it proves how powerful we are. They have to keep working us over. Keep treating us like a funny guy getting in our business. I used to do that really good. Now it's terrible. I gotta watch the scene. But it's like 5 people going, please don't do that anymore. Whatever. Anyway, so guys, look, be skeptical of the truth channels you watch. Everyone. Well, Matt, your videos have been recommended before on YouTube. Fine. But I have a track record. That's all I'm saying. Well, a guy with a track record can build up a tremendous amount of trust and then really screw us. Good. You should always have that attitude towards me and everybody else. Good. Good. If you just thought that. But these, I'm not going to say anything specifically, but I'm telling you guys, some of these, you got to watch these. Take your hat and pull it down tight before you watch these channels. They're just constantly pushing fear. Please walk away from it. Am I thrilled about what's going on? Is it an overreach beyond the leaps and bounds of anything I ever thought possible? Yes. But again, if you're worried, if you're in the middle of this and it's stressing, just back up 1,000 miles, and then back up 50,000 miles, and then back up to some point where you're just looking at the snow globe, the whole reality. Let's say they do all this stuff. In the end, Lincoln Park, in the end, it doesn't even matter. Well, it doesn't even matter what they do to us as long as we accomplish certain things in this life for ourselves. Back up far enough. Well, let's say they do all this stuff in our life. So, no, we can't ever get together in a group again for the rest of our lives. That would be horrible if you're 25 or 30 or 15. That is wrecking people's lives. I'm almost 50. It would be horrible, and I don't want that. But if I back up far enough and say, well, I'm fortunate I enjoyed a lot of freedoms in my teens and 20s and 30s, and they still seem to follow this thing called the Constitution. And, this train stop in this reality is a blink of a blink of a blink of a, always got the eye reference, the blink of a blink of a blink, whatever. It's just, it's going in and out of a closet for a half a second. If you think this is all there is and this life is all there is, then it's so horrible and serious what's happening. If you back up far enough, this is like it's a little incarnation in the snow globe to learn some lessons. From cosmically, it's 1/1 billionth of a trillionth of a Carl-Sagan billionth of a second. It's nothing. 80 years? Are you kidding me? If you back up far enough, 80 years is no different than the mayfly or whatever these insects that live one day, or the 17-year cicada, the 17-year John Cicada. That was he a singer or something? It just came to me. They come every 17 years and they live 2 weeks, and then they die, and the eggs go 17 years. If you back up far enough cosmically, your life of 80 some years or whatever, that is no different. No different. It's a rounding error of a rounding error on 15 zeros between you and the mayfly or the 17-year cicada. If you're over 50, lock you in your home for the rest of your life. You get your Amazon shipments. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you believe you're an atheist and you believe this is all there is, ooh, we're screwed. If this is all there is, it's just this life. Just go on to something else. And yeah, we would be wary of the tricks. I don't want to get trapped here. I don't want to make more ties to this place where this place could pull me back in. And then if I'm born again into this realm, they're going to chip me. That's kind of a real serious situation for those born now into the near future. That's one main reason why we want to make sure we don't come back. If you're born and you get the chip right away, you might not have an opportunity to learn the things that we're learning now. But it's going to be up to us. They don't have it. If they had the power to just keep us coming back, they wouldn't work so hard. They wouldn't work so hard. So again, guys, I never thought I'd believe the Jimi Hendrix, the song I listened to all along the Watchtower, written by Neil Young or something, or Bob Dylan. It doesn't matter. Please don't comment. I pose one question. We're talking about the biggest concepts in life. I mean, understanding your incarnation's a short train stop, and then I'll pose one question like who was the one that really wrote, and I'll get comments like that matters. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. The commenters here are great, moving these big metaphysical questions forward. Not whether it was Neil Young or Bob Dylan who wrote All Along the Watchtower. But I listened to the song, and I said this before, but it's worth saying again. Years ago, many years ago, 30 years ago, and it says, some people believe that life is but a joke. And at that point, life could not be more serious for me. I'm trying to get a promotion so I can get the next, or I can lease a sports car if I get the promotion. And then I'm going to go down to, where am I going to spend the summer? Long Beach Island, and I've got to come up with a $3,000 that's going to cost, and all this, so important. Some people believe that life is but a joke. Who would think that? It couldn't be more serious. And then somebody would come up to me and say, you're going to think that. You're gonna and not the beautiful parts of life in terms of relationships or in certain parts of nature. I'm saying what they've evolved the reality into. These minion assholes, these jerks here. What they've evolved, whether it's their role or not or whatever. We'll talk about that in other videos. What they've evolved the reality into is a joke. And considering the short little period we're here, 80 years, which is nothing. I would then the person would say, you'll believe that someday, what Jimi Hendrix said. I would be like, no way. If that somebody would have said that to me, yeah, absolutely, that's exactly accurate. Some people say life is but a joke. It's become a joke. Now, not that anything we've done in nature, they've made it into a joke. These assholes at a certain level, assholes, have made it into a joke. And it's better to see it as a joke than to see it, they're going to come take my kids and constantly push fear out and deliver fear out into your energy and fear out into the ether, and one truth or video after another just pushing fear. And there could be a bill HR, the next one is 666, where they listen at your door, and anybody coughing, they barge in and they immediately kill you because you could spread it around to other people. That's pretty bad, but if you back up far enough, so what? Go on to another lifetime or another incarnation, or find heaven, or just get out of this weird, sick place. If you back up far enough, you can actually say, so what? If Bill HR, the next one, 666, they will barge in your house and immediately pin you down on your kitchen table and give you some sort of ejection and kill you, so you can't spread because COVID's so bad that they can't afford for you to spread it. If you back up far enough, you can actually look at that and say, so what? I don't got any more to say. Thanks.